Hey, beautiful people, welcome to episode 162 of Credit 101. We're going to talk about maximizing your credit card. So, tips for smart credit card use. Now, I know I'm making a lot of videos about these different things, but I know that sometimes we need to beat these things into our own head because as I'm teaching these things to you all and I'm making these different videos, I'm educating myself even more on these different things and I'm looking at it at different angles too. And then not only that, it's making me remember, oh yeah, you know what? That is right. I do need to do that. I remember that from my past. That did help me before. So I like to watch these videos and I like to continue to educate myself. And I want you guys to continue to do the same thing also. Now, if this is your first time watching these different vlogs, understand that this is 162. We've been doing this since episode 1. We're almost done with this one topic, which is just to me credit 101, just credit in general. We're going to go to another topic. If you guys know any great topics that you want me to focus on, again, this can be a whole year that I got to get into these topics. So 162 days worth so far I had done this basically. If you guys want me to do another topic, definitely let me know. I'll be happy to go over that topic with you all. But let's get into this one. So the thing is, I want you guys to understand your credit card terms when it comes down to any of your credit cards. You have to understand the terms. You need to know what your APR is, your interest rate is. That's what you guys are going to be charged for whatever balance you are keeping on your credit card. And I tell people when it comes down to APR, make sure you pay your statement balance by your due date and you'll never be charged interest. And that's what I do. I don't want to pay any interest on a credit card. So I'm going to pay my statement balance by the due date. And then I want you guys to look at the different fees as in annual fees, what's your late fees, do they got foreign transaction fees in terms of can I use this credit card outside the country? Yes, I can. What you going to charge me? They may charge you 3%. They might charge you 1%. They may charge you a percentage for using outside the country. So you may want to find out which of your credit cards do not charge a foreign transaction fee and use that when you outside of the country. And make sure you guys utilize the reward programs. I love my cashback points and travel rewards. That's the reason why I use my credit cards. Like I think about that as a major thing when I'm like, okay, which credit card should I use? I'm looking at what cash back I'm getting on each credit card. That's what I'm looking at. So I want you guys to think about that too. Consider and understand the credit card terms. The next thing is you guys have to maintain a low utilization of your credit cards. I know a lot of people say do 30%, but I am a firm believer of actually having a utilization of 5% or below when you're applying for credit. You can maintain the 30% while you're basically not applying for credit. You're not doing anything. You don't care what your credit score is. I say that to say when you start caring what your credit score is, you want your credit score to be very, very high. You want to have it at 5% or below. Okay. And that's just my number. You can do whatever number you want. And then I'm have videos and I'm going to show you guys at the end too video on the utilization tracker I have because I love to use this utilization tracker to actually track the different credit cards and know what the utilization is. Make sure you're paying all your credit cards on time. Again, I make sure I pay the statement balance by the due date, but at the same time, I go back, I actually have on auto pay the minimum payment. I pay the statement balance in the beginning of the month or sometimes at the very end of the month. Like it's the 29th when I'm actually filming this, the 29th of July. So I would actually start getting ahead of next month, knowing what's all those bills and start tackling those bills because they're coming up anyway. All of my bills are on auto pay. I can't say a lot. All of them are on auto pay for the minimum payment, but I got to go back in and see what statement balance I need to pay by that due date because that's going to be very, very important. So make sure that you guys are paying your bills on time. And then make sure you're paying more than the minimum payment. Do y'all know, like when y'all look at y'all statements, they'll say, hey, if you continue to make this minimum payment, it's going to take you 7 years. It have like a large number there. It's going to take you 7 years to pay this debt off. And this is the amount that you're going to pay in interest. That's a lot of money. So make sure you guys are paying more than just that minimum payment. Stop paying interest on these credit cards. You got to look into Dave Ramsey and think about getting out of debt. That is going to be a big thing. I do not suggest credit cards for those people that's going to hold a balance on it because all you're doing is ruining your life. All your money that that you're going to have to pay is going to be going into these credit cards, and that's not what I want. And also make sure you guys take advantage of any credit card benefits, like I said, that's out there. Some of the benefits can be purchase protection, extended warranty, travel insurance. Some credit cards have these different things as long as you use that credit card to book your trip. So look into that. And then also maybe you guys want to use, like, they have car rental insurance for certain credit cards. Look into that. But just make sure that you know what benefits you have on your credit cards and you're taking full advantage. And then monitor your credit card activity. See what transactions are happening. See if you have any unauthorized transactions. If you do have it, you need to contact them right away and make sure that they start disputing that transaction for you. That's going to be very, very important, because you don't know. You can have something, that a transaction that you did not put on your credit, not on your credit report, on your credit card, on basically in your activity. So you want to know what's going on so that you can dispute that and you're not paying extra money for charges that you did not make. And make sure that you build and maintain a good credit history. Again, on-time payments are going to be the biggest thing, and just keeping your balance low would make it easier for you to maintain a good credit history. Because guess what? If it comes to the point where you can't pay something, your balance is already low. So if you got a $5,000 credit card and you only really keep a $500 balance on it, it's going to be way easier to pay off $500 in a pinch than to pay off $5,000. So make sure that you keep your credit card balances low. And then consider any credit card upgrades. If you can upgrade to a new credit cards, maybe you have credit cards that don't give you any type of rewards, and maybe that company have a credit card rewards that you like. Try to see if you can get that one. Try to see if you can get one to have lower interest rates too, if you know that you're holding a balance on your credit cards. And then too, if you have credit cards that some of those old credit cards, you use these credit cards to start building your credit, and they have maintenance fees, annual fees, your credit is built. Or even if you still building your credit, try to get some new credit cards that can replace those credit cards. And I would say wait a whole year, or wait till you see what your credit is looking like. I would say wait about a year. Honestly, because you don't want to close that old account. I really don't want to tell you guys to close that old account, but if they got maintenance fees of like $8 a month or something ridiculous like that, you made the bad decision. You still having that credit card around, you probably do need to get a new credit card and close that one. And then try to see if you can negotiate some better terms. And this can be just lower interest rates. You guys can get a lower interest rate, or ask for a higher credit limit. That can help you all out a lot. The higher limit can actually help with your overall utilization. So I definitely always tell people every month, ask for an increase. And also leverage balance transfers wisely. I love balance transfers. They're like my new biggest thing when it come down to credit, because if I want to hold a balance on something, or if I want to borrow money, I want to borrow it at no interest at all. So I love the 0% APR credit cards. I do not like to do a balance transfer. A lot of companies charge a balance transfer fee. What I would do is, instead of doing a balance transfer, I will put all of my new transactions. If I think about swiping anything on a credit card, I will put that on my 0% APR credit card, and I'll take all of my cash, anything I would have spent to pay whatever I put on this credit card, I would take all that cash to pay off all of my other credit cards that have that basically I cannot hold a balance on, until this new credit card is filled up all the way into wherever you want it to be filled up at. And that way I avoid paying a balance transfer fee. Because say if you transferring a $3,000 balance, like I transferred, let me give an example. I transferred a $3,500 balance from Navy Federal to my Chase, and I think they charged me a 5% fee. And it was, or no, it must have been a $6,000. They charged me a 5% fee basically. When in actuality, I could have just took my cash and paid off Navy Federal and put all of my charges on that new Chase credit card. But understand that some of the credit cards that offer 0% APR is not just for balance transfer. You want to make sure it's for purchases also. So that's another thing you can think about. If it's only for balance transfers and they charging a fee, where I'm at in life, I'm not going to pay it, because I don't need to borrow the money. I don't need to pay you a fee to do it, to borrow the money. It's going to be setting me back. I can just borrow the money and not use it at all, and not put any new transactions anywhere else. But you want to definitely use the balance transfers wisely. But I hope that this video was very helpful to that you guys can actually have some smart tips of actually using your credit card. Hey, beautiful people, welcome to episode 163 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to just simply talk about how to get an increase on your credit card. So the first thing I want you guys to do is I want you guys to actually check your credit reports. You need to know exactly what is on your credit. What is your credit score? I want you guys to double check that you have your utilization at or below 5% on your other credit cards, and that credit card, if you can help it. A lot of people may say, just have 30%, but I want you to have the best credit score possible. So I'm going to tell you that I want your utilization to be at 5% below on your credit reports. So I want you to make sure that you check your credit reports and see exactly what's going on. And also, I want you guys to evaluate your financial situation in general. So I want you guys to know exactly what's going on with your employment, how much money you have coming in. Are you making more than you were making when you first got this credit card? Because they're going to ask you how much is your gross income, your net income. So you want to know these different things before you actually apply. And then I want you guys to understand the credit card issuers policies. So I want you guys to look up other people, put your credit card into Google and put credit increase. And also you can put on their recent credit increases, because they'll show you other people that may have said they got an increase, or you can read more about the policies of this actual credit card company, because some credit cards, they just don't give increases at all, depending on what credit card it is. And not only just that they don't give increases, some of them give more increases, some of them give less increases. Okay, so I want you guys to understand that and prepare for your request. I kind of went over this already in a way. I want you guys just to make sure that you have everything together. You want to make sure if they possibly want to ask for like your income, especially if you're like a credit union, make sure you just have your documents together so that you can prove your income. And to me, the biggest thing is to have your credit together in general. So you want to make sure you do that. See if you got any negative accounts on your credit reports. If you have negative accounts, work to remove these. I have a free letter on my website. I'll show you guys that shortly, that you all can get and use to remove negative accounts. But the goal is to have the best credit score possible when you actually prepare to ask for an increase on any of your credit cards. Now, you want to make sure you contact your credit card issuer. Usually you can do this online. You can do a request online, but sometimes you got to do a request by phone. I know when I went to get a request on my Apple credit card, just basically Goldman Sachs, it was a different type of thing I had to do. I had to like message them and ask for the increase link. So definitely call, because some companies will let you just do it online. Some you got to call. Like I think with Wells Fargo, you have to call. Apple, the GM rewards, you have to ask for an actual link to get the increase. So just contact them and ask how you can do it. And then after that, just make your request. Some credit card issuers just going to ask what your income is. Some issuers are going to ask you what you want, like how much you want. Like with usually Synchrony Bank, they have like the Lowe's, the Walgreens, a lot of the store credit cards, the Care Credit, they're going to ask you what you want for your increase, like how much money you want. So I always tell people that when you ask for an increase, they're not just going to deny you based off of what you asked for. So say if you wanted to get $5,000, you had $2,000, you wanted to get to $5,000. I always tell people ask for 10, because all they're going to do is they can meet you. They can give you the 10, they can give you 8, 7, 6, 9. It can give you a lower amount, or you can just get the 5, but ask for more. And I learned this with my Lowe's credit card. With this one, I was asking for baby increases. And I literally made 3 increases like this. I asked for an increase. It's too low. They gave it to me. I asked for an increase again. I guess too low. They gave it to me. I mean, like real time right now. I asked for another one and they gave it to me. I'm like, what? What is the top? What is the most? But when I asked for that last one, I'm like, I'm going to ask for a lot. And it gave me more than I mentally wanted. They gave me more than what I mentally wanted. So that's why I tell people, just throw out a large amount, like shoot for the moon with this one, but definitely make your request. And then next, you got to wait for a response. So these companies will let you know instantly if they're going to give you an increase, and then you will see an increase instantly, like on your online account, so that money can be available immediately. And then sometimes they may tell you that they can't do it. And as if they tell you that they can't do it, they'll tell you why. Sometimes they say the account's too recent. The balances on some of your other accounts are too high. Your debt to I guess they could say debt to income ratio. Too recent new accounts. They don't like the new accounts you have. Recent derogatory accounts in your credit reports. They'll let you know why they denied you. Usually a letter in the mail. Some companies like to do like a secure email where they'll email you where you can get the response right away. So it's different for every company, but definitely wait for that response. If you do not get it immediately, you can also call them and see exactly what's going on. And sometimes you can call them and ask them, why won't y'all give me an increase? Like, I understand y'all, what y'all said, but it's not true. Can I get this reconsidered? And I want you guys to maintain some good credit habits in general. Like, please, you guys, keep your utilization low. Put all your credit cards on auto pay so you never have any late payments. Don't have unnecessary debt, because it's going to look very, very bad when you're trying to borrow more money and you already have a lot that you're trying to pay. And also, when it come down to maintaining good credit habits, one habit I say is you should always ask for an increase, period. Always ask for an increase. Just because you have a credit card, say if you start with a $5,000 balance on a credit card, that don't mean you should stay there. I want companies that's going to give me increases. As I increase in life, I want these credit cards to continue to increase in life. So I want you guys to keep on top of this. Sometimes when you're desperate for an increase, like how I was, I used to ask every month, because my thing was I might miss it. Some people say ask once a year. And it's like, I had that mindset, but when I was with Capital One literally gave me like three increases in 1 year, compared to that one person that probably just applied that one time. So I say constantly ask for an increase, but hopefully you guys are able to get those increases. Just make sure that you maintain good habits, and you should not have a problem at all getting increased.